Welcome back everyone to Tenner in My Pocket Cornwall edition. We are midway through my quest to travel down the Cornish coastline in true vagabond fashion, and aside from some questionable night's sleep and an incredibly dangerous detour, it's all gone swimmingly. I've already met some great people, gained plenty of free food and beer, and somehow ended up with more money than I started with. Join me in part 2 as I work my way through that money, attempt to forage and cook seafood on an open fire, wake up in a strange house, and become embroiled in a long-standing village dispute.
Burn in hell!
I'd better get up actually.
Wow, not a bad place to arise.
That was such a better night's sleep. Not perfect, not without pain, but yeah, so much better. That cardboard really did the trick, to be fair. I am slightly hungover though.
As I began to get my sorry act together, a middle-aged woman here for an early morning swim voiced her disapproval of my decision to sleep here.
She wasn't happy.
One thing I didn't consider was that this might be used as a changing room for early morning swimmers, who do tend to be women. I wasn't going to lose any sleep over it though, and after a custard cream breakfast, I moved on.
Ooh, abandoned beach toys. Do I take the net? No. Too awkward to carry.
And speaking of which,
Gotta head back into town now to put this cardboard back. Didn't consider that there might not be a recycling bin down there.
but the morning views over Foy Harbour more than made up for it.
Wow. What do you think of that, mate? Not much to say really, is there?
My fourth entry into the centre was definitely the most peaceful,
Oh, it's quiet this morning.
but I wasn't the only one up and about.
Right, I want to get going now and head off along the coast again. But I really do need a public toilet for I've got hardly any water, and I'm looking along the coast and I don't think there's going to be anything for ages. On a positive note, I've still got, is it £17.32? I could do another planned pub. Ooh, a pair of socks. They do smell clean, and I could do with them. F it, man. I know that looks disgusting, but I don't care. Yeah, the world's my oyster today. I could even buy some oysters. No, I won't do that.
As I strolled back to Ready Money Cove for the third time, past Dawn French's former abode, there was one more thing left to do.
Apparently it was up here somewhere. This is it, isn't it? Oh, that lady's watching me again. Hi. She's the one who told me off earlier. She doesn't realise that I know the owners of this. Wow. This is amazing. This is so good. Harry was right, the view from up here is incredible. Wow. And here's the decking for the summer house, which he didn't have the key for, otherwise he would have let me sleep in there. But that is amazing. Well, I didn't sleep here, Harry, but you've done your nan proud. This is glorious. Right, let's see if this lady tells me off. Is this the way? No. I've got lost. I'm lost in your garden, Harry.
Eventually, I found my way out of this enchanting plot, said toodle pip to my concerned friend,
See ya.
and finally headed west from Ready Money Cove up a set of steel stairs.
That's where I slept last night.
Back on the trail, and within 2 minutes I'd found an eerie abandoned looking building and one of Henry VIII's castles.
St Catherine's Castle. Oh, go on then. Here we go. Oh, mate. Couldn't have slept in here, but Still a really cool place. Ooh. Whoa. Oh, this is different. Got a lake over there. Freshly mowed grass, which you can't go on. And then the beach there.
As I excavated further into my custard cream supply, I chatted to a friendly dog walker.
Nice man.
And tried to catch the eye of the old fellow that lived at this cottage in the hopes that he could be my water saviour. But he seemed to vanish into the rocks, so I can only presume he was a ghost.
Got a really interesting structure coming up here. Some sort of lighthouse. I can see what's going to happen here. I'm going to be really tempted to climb the scaffolding. Here we go. Please don't make it too easy for me. No, they haven't. Good. I could do it if I wanted, but they've made it sufficiently scary, especially with that sign. Well, this is what it usually looks like. And this is where we're heading today. This stretch of coastline here.
My water bottle may have been empty, but there was sweet juice to be found in these bushes.
Yeah, I'll take these right now. I'm just so thirsty on a deep level that these are hitting the spot. Ooh, look at you lot hiding down there. I don't think so.
And then I noticed another, less familiar type of berry.
What are they? Are they edible? Are they slow berries? Seems like it. I'm going to try this app. Blackthorn. Slow. Sweet.
Or not, as it turned out.
Yeah. Yeah. No. That is the weirdest texture ever. Nom, 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 nom. One thing that's been a bit disappointing and surprising is the complete lack of apple trees and plum trees. Haven't seen any. Maybe they just don't like the salty air. So my idea today, I think, is I'm going to head slightly inland and find a supermarket, like an Aldi. I think there's an Aldi. Get some more cheap food, tinned fish, etc. And I'm going to see if I can get me a really cheap, flimsy tent or beach shelter. Now the reason for that is, quite simply, I want to spend a night on the beach. That's one of the things I envisioned that I would do on this adventure. Spend a night on the sand with a fire going and some whelks sizzling away. I don't know if it's going to pan out quite like that, but I want to give it a go. The problem is it's going to rain. Not much, just a bit during the night, but it is going to rain, so I need shelter. I picked the wrong night for it, really. I should have done it last night, but oh well. So if I can just get me some sort of cheap ass tent or a tarp or something like that, we can give this a go. So that is the main aim for today.
Down in the nearby village of Polkerris, the hunt for a tent or any sort of useful object began.
See, this is the kind of stuff you might be able to salvage. Crates.
But more importantly, the hunt for water ended.
Yes. Right, is this open? Yeah. Is the water drinkable? I think so.
The water may have been cold, but there was a slight problem with this tap.
That's going to be low. Shit.
But this cloudy-headed chimp came up with an ingenious solution.
This could make me very wet.
By using the bottle lid as a sort of ramp, I could divert the water flow up and over the rim of the bottle.
That is genius. That'll do. Maybe I don't need to go to an Aldi. Nah. This is going to be too expensive, isn't it? Lovely place though. There's a pub, the Rashley Inn.
On my next stretch of coast, I decided that I would return to Cornwall on a sea kayak and search for some old pirate loot.
Defo some rum down there.
Do let me know down below if you want to see that become a reality. Up ahead though, an opportunity to search for some much more attainable treasure.
Oh, this is a big open beach here. Haven't seen one like this yet. I want to walk across this sand now that the tide's right out and just see what there is to find on the sand, like whelks, mussel. I don't know, those long ones. See, there's mussels here already. Would they be edible? Gotta be, right?
Unsure, I decided to ask some locals.
Do you know anything about coastal foraging, like mussels?
I'm afraid.
No.
I think I'd only poison you.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, sorry.
We don't want that.
It's a shame because there's lots there, isn't there? And it
Yeah.
looks like if you could eat them, but I'm never sure.
Well, these
which
mussels
ones.
you can eat, can't you?
To our surprise, there were oysters,
I think they are old.
Old oysters.
Yeah.
That'd be good, a fresh oyster.
I've never noticed them before.
Don't know whether
So
you.
breaking them open then, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a promising sign.
Yeah, the only one I'd be sure of was blackberries, and
Yes.
everybody knows them. And there's only so many of them you can eat, though. It's
Exactly,
gonna keep
I've already
you
had
going
too
on
many of
and
them.
on.
Yeah.
and what I presumed was a sea snail.
There's loads, there's an abundance here. This is really promising, isn't it? I've just got to find a beach similar to this later on in the day, and then we're laughing. These birds know there's stuff around here. They know. This as well. This sort of stuff. It's got to be edible. It's not bad, but I have just made my mouth really salty for no reason.
Unfortunately, I had to leave this big flat platter of briny treats behind, but it left me feeling hopeful that there would be more on the journey ahead.
Ooh, a beehive. Shall I raid it for honey? Nah, I'm just kidding. That would be a terrible idea for so many reasons.
For now, I was heading inland to the village of Parr, and suddenly, for the first time on this trip, it felt like I'd stepped out of touristy Cornwall and into the real one.
The Cornish are a very proud people because of their history and Celtic roots. So there's loads of Cornwall flags, but then there's England flags, and then there's like Ireland, Scotland and Wales flags, and even Isle of Man. But then there was an Australia one. I don't know, I don't know why there's so many flags on this street.
Down an alleyway, I found some more curious looking berries.
Let's try this again. Bittersweet. Poisonberry. Woody nightshade. Causes nausea, weakness, fever, vomiting, slowed heart rate and paralysis of the nervous system. I think I'll give that one a miss. Blackberry harvesting has gone up a few levels today, guys. Mostly because I am genuinely hungry, and all I've got left now is about 14 custard cream biscuits because I ate my Cliff Bar back there.
Then, on this weird footbridge, I spotted the very thing I'd been searching for.
No, it's exactly what I'm looking for. A frigging tent. It's got fags all over it, but as if. Do I try and get that? I don't think I can get down there. If I had a fishing line with a hook, that's so hard to get. It's good though that there's one just, well, not for the local environment, but for me, it's a promising sign, I guess.
As I explored this World War II bunker and strolled along the edge of a golf course, I strongly considered trying to find a way to retrieve the tent, if anything just to help the environment. But again, it was so early in the day, and without its bag I wouldn't be able to fold it, and it would be a nightmare to carry, not mentioning the various bodily fluids that could be trickling from it. Further down the coast, a much nicer looking tent.
Here's our next beach, guys. That tent is perfect for sleeping under, isn't it? This belongs to some sort of cafe or something, or bar. Let's get down there and have a look. This might be where we sleep. I see plenty of beach tents flapping about. Maybe there's a discarded one.
Down on the beach, I was greeted with more ridiculously tempting establishments.
The Mussel Shoal. Sounds expensive. Cornish craft beer, local fresh seafood. Oh,
But that wasn't the end of it. There were bars, more scrummy looking food joints, and sandy seating areas aplenty.
that is too good. So tempting just to go to Asda now, come back for about 4, chill here with a couple of pints and sleep in here. $6.50 a pint though.
Frightened by these numbers, I retreated to the rear of the beach to root around in some bins.
Dumpster diving, not a good look.
There were a lot of bins, but all they had in them was cardboard, dog shit, and just generally foul-smelling rubbish. Until...
Oh my god, there's one in there. But it's covered in shit. Damn. No, that stinks so bad. It's not even a hard decision.
I struck up a bit of dialogue with some student-aged bar staff in the hopes that it might lead to some sort of campfire party. They kindly filled up my water bottle, but the conversation quickly reached a natural end.
Right to the brim, thanks mate. Cheers.
And with it, my time here.
See ya. It's so hard leaving a place like this when it's such a perfect place to sleep and it's raining tonight. But I've just got to have faith in the Cornish tourism industry that there'll be something else further down the coast.
This leg of the adventure felt very different. Less hills and cliffs and more of a modern feel to the tourism. It made a nice change and a welcome break for the legs, but the temptations were strong.
Oh, the swimming pool. That's like paradise to me right now. Oh man, what gives?
At around 12:30, I stopped at one of the many lookout posts that are dotted along the coast and met one of the amazing coast guards that volunteer there.
How often will you see someone in trouble and identify?
Hopefully not ever.
Yeah.
But we do. There's a casualty out, further out at the moment.
Is there?
The lifeboat's gone out, it's broken down. Yeah.
Really?
Engine's broken down. Yeah. So we're just listening on the radio.
Yeah.
We can't see it, it's too far out.
I'll leave you to it anyway.
Okay.
Nice
Enjoy
to
your
meet
walk.
you.
Yeah, right.
Thank you. Cheers.
Before arriving in my next village, and this one was quite unique.
Oh yeah, this is well nice. Look at these old boats.
Completed in 1799, the Charlestown Dock is a curious thing, and while it's still home to some incredible boats and war relics, the outer rim is now peppered with craft shops and more gourmet burger shacks. Meanwhile, in my crusty blue bag, the custard creams were running low.
Got 11 left.
It was time to go shopping.
Right, Asda's a mile away. It's 1:20. Let's go to Asda, because I've got next to no food now, and I've eaten way too many blackberries.
On the way up to Asda, I found another edible organism growing on the side of the road.
I've only gone and found some chicken of the woods, I think. I don't know though. Ben's not here, so we can't harvest it.
I couldn't help but think that if I'd have kept the onion and the mushroom, I'd be well on my way to rustling up a seafood dish Rick Stein would be proud of.
This is proper Cornwall now. Feels a lot like Wales. I don't know who that offends. Probably everyone.
Right now though, I was quite looking forward to seeing what filthy bargains could be had in Asda.
This is a massive Asda. Can't see any beach tents, man. Alright, let's have a look at food. Or drink. It's not terrible. Unrefrigerated beers though, in the heat. Right, let's see. How do these fish prices compare then? Sardines, 50p. Okay.
But the catch of the day was in an unexpected aisle.
What? 52p? I'm taking 2 of them.
Finally, I grabbed some very childhood biscuits for 49p, popped my coins in the hole, and off I went.
Okay, I'm fairly happy. No beach tent, but I got some good bargains here. It is what it is. Processed food.
It was kind of nice being back in an urban setting, and while I was here I made sure to check a few bins for the tent that Asda failed to provide me.
Beach chair. Not worth carrying with me though, is it?
So for now I was returning to the coast tentless and lighterless, having forgot to buy one from Asda.
Some sort of lookout post. Let's check it out. Oh, yeah, nice. Could sleep in here.
The next beach had more empty bins, cliffs far too crumbly to camp under, and a useless toilet.
Okay, stinks of piss anyway.
And to make matters worse, the flat, sandy coast was about to make way for the hilly, cliffy, not-so-sandy coast again.
Pentewan, I think, is the next one, and that's 3¼ miles.
For the first time, Plan Beach was looking iffy, but there was still hope.
Plan Beach is still on, but there is another tantalising town 4 or 5 miles away called Mevagissey. Definitely potential for a planned pub, but I don't think many of you want to see another planned pub. The good thing is there's beaches around that area, and the tide will be going out in half an hour or so. So I've got both options if I want them.
More bulging blackberries helped me through what was possibly the most undulating section yet.
This is up and down.
But apparently I was sweating my balls off for nothing.
I'm sorry, what? So I've done a mile and I've gone nowhere, apparently. I know that's what it feels like, but I didn't think it was actually true.
In the actual 3½ miles to Pentewan, the hills were even bigger
Wow.
and with drops steeper than Co-op's tinned carrots.
No.
There were some great views of where I'd come from that day, and the reward for all this marching, quite a promising looking strip of sand.
Ah. It's like a holiday park on the beach. Good chance of a tent, I think. Yeah, definitely.
First I cooled off in a rather eerie church.
God, it's silent in here. Whoa. Can you hear that? I can literally hear the blood pumping in my head. That is how quiet it is in here. I can hear a high-pitched ringing as well. We are gathered here today. I don't know why we're gathered here today. I'm sorry. I'll let myself out, JC.
And in the village, another tempting pub tried to convert me.
Ooh, we like them. This looks like a great pub.
But I was determined to make my night on the beach happen.
Just felt a sprinkle of rain. The first since the very start. Let's see what we can find in this holiday park. We need a recycling point, preferably. This is sick, to be fair. To have this right on the beach. I don't want to film here too much because it looks a bit weird, but let's see if I can fill up my water, brush my teeth, and maybe even have a shower.
Whilst in the shower room, I noticed I was getting a few funny looks from some fellow dads. And then I noticed that they all had wristbands on. So I decided not to shower, even if I did honk. 15 minutes later, and I was already out the front gates.
Right, that was an incredible holiday park, I've got to say. There it is. I actually think I'll take my family there one day. But, as cool as it was, it didn't or couldn't really serve my adventure too well. I had a good rummage for a beach shelter or beach tent, which I didn't really want to film too much because it looked weird enough opening all the recycling bins as it was without filming it as well, because there were so many kids around. I think everyone in there is in a family. It is so child orientated. Anyway, didn't find anything, can't stay there, so we move on.
Speckles of rain carried by stronger winds only compounded what was now looking like a disappointing outcome. My only realistic hope of a beach camp now was the big but secluded beach just shy of Mevagissey, a mile down the coast, and both town and beach were in view.
Here we go. Really hoping I don't end up sleeping on the pier tonight. Do you know, I think that is the beach that I was thinking about, that I'd seen on the map. Look at the stairs going down to it. That is insane. And the cliffs might be a worry as well.
The problem was, of course, I needed to source a tent and lighter in the town and head back to the beach and its gigantic staircase. By the time I'd reached that, reality had reached me.
It ain't gonna happen, is it? I've just realised, because it's 10 to 6 now. Maybe we'll get a fire going tomorrow and do some coastal foraging. So it's into Mevagissey, sorry. We go, isn't it? And once again, shelter searching mode. That daunting task of trying to find me somewhere to sleep. But this time we have rain.
It was another delightful descent down into my latest ancient Cornish fishing village.
Oh, this is so Cornish. Oh. Oh, yeah. Look at these pubs, man.
But for some reason, I had a bad feeling about it.
I'm calling it now. I don't think I'll find a shelter.
First, I explored the centre.
I'm not getting a good vibe in terms of potentially sleeping here.
And then the outskirts, where all my hopes now rested.
Shortcut. You want some, do you? Well, you ain't having it.
According to Google Maps, which I was only using in emergencies to preserve battery, there was a park right on the edge of town. But would it be worth the long walk?
Okay, this is all right. Honestly, mate, the places I film. Yeah, made of metal. We'd need a lot of cardboard, but it's doable. Now put the camera away, Tom. For God's sake. We got that too. Contingencies, but it's just a bit shit, isn't it?
I spent a bit more time searching the surrounding hills, cliffs and jetties in the harbour, but as predicted, there was nothing. So the skate ramp would be my bed for the night, and I was gonna need a pint just to take the edge off that.
Oh, f it, I'll give in. Let's get a pint.
But maybe, just maybe, I could make something bigger happen while I was here.
It's not a question I usually ask, but I'm on a strict budget.
Oh no, it's 467.
All right, mate. Cheers.
In this shipping, the staff were equally young, but couldn't have been less interested in what I was doing, so it was down to me to meet some punters, which went equally unsuccessfully.
Thank you. Cheers. I'm off. Cheers.
A fiver worse off and basically still sober, I had two choices. Call it quits and sleep on the concrete, or double my money. I was quite torn, but then I was given a sign.
Oh, God.
The friendly cockneys who owned this bar were much more interested in my plight.
You're heading that way tomorrow anyway.
Yeah,
it's
true.
quite nice, yeah.
I chatted to them sporadically, but the fact was I'd purchased my final pint of the night, and with every sip I took, the pressure to meet some punters was increasing. There were a few couples dotted around, but no one I really wanted to disturb. But then, the karaoke man turned up. This kooky lady went up first and did Duffy proud, but during this crooner's passionate performance, my pint began to run critically low. I was quite tired, to be honest, and I didn't really feel like it, but if I wanted to avoid an early retreat to the skate ramp, I was gonna have to get stuck in. So I parked myself next to kooky lady, whose real name was Helen, got chatting, and before I knew it, I was up.
Proper model. Would you like to model for me?
She didn't quite get the hang of the camera, but Helen took a shine to me. And not only did she offer to buy me a pint, but she insisted I keep the change. Originally from the posh part of London, Helen was a larger-than-life character who, despite having not much of a filter, was very friendly and generally just wanted to have a good time. She was also very generous, and as the night went on and various other talents took to the stage, including Welsh songstress Sonia and the returning Terry, who genuinely brought a tear to my eye with this heartfelt rendition of My Way. Yeah! Helen had invited me to come over to her house in the morning for breakfast. Buoyed by this act of kindness and some 5% beer, I did a very Birmingham thing. Thanks to Sonia's husband over to my right, I was now on my 4th pint, making a night beneath the skate ramp a lot more palatable. But the story was only just beginning, because Helen asked me if I wanted to crash in her living room. I'd managed to catch an alcohol-fueled wave straight to Story Beach, but the night was still relatively young, and with an all too short waiting list for the karaoke, my turn was coming around painfully quick.
And I say yes, you're wonderful tonight. As I turn out the lights, I'll say my darling.
It became a bit of a free-for-all after that, at which point Helen actually went home. But she urged me to stay at the pub and come over and ring her doorbell at any hour. Shortly afterwards, I said goodbye to this random assortment of lovely people and did just that. Right. Hell of a night in that pub, but it's not over. Oh shit. Did I write it on my phone? I'm literally going to ring the doorbell and she assures me that... Oh, it's September. She assures me that she'll be up and I can sleep on her carpet. And what do I say? If you're ever unsure what to do, pick the option that makes for the better story. But at the moment, how do I find it? Do you know this area, mate?
Vaguely.
Do you know Street?
No, sorry.
Okay. No worries, no worries. Anyone know where Street is? Who? Street.
Not that road. Turn right.
Oh, okay. All right. Cheers, cheers. Good night. Let's do it. I was slightly too drunk to know for sure if I had the right place, but just about drunk enough to ring someone's buzzer at 1 a.m. This has got to be wrong. Oh.
Come on in.
Thank you.
Off to your right.
Okay, thank you.
How are you, love?
I'm not too late, am I?
No, not at all. I'm wide awake.
Oh, I'm glad. I just didn't want to intrude.
Go and pop the kettle on in the kitchen, love.
Okay. Do you know, I actually don't drink hot drinks, but I'll put it on for
I've
you.
got cold drinks. The only cold drink I've got is oat milk.
I passed on refreshments, so it was time to check out the sleeping arrangement. On the floor.
No,
It's better than being... Okay.
That's yours, love.
I had been granted a bed for the night. While she cleared it, I tuned her guitar and chatted to her about 70s music, but it was soon time for what I was hoping would be the best night's sleep in 3 days. Okie doke.
You want a light left on? Out there? I'll leave the light on.
Only if you want it on.
Yeah, I don't mind. And I've shut this door.
Great.
Sweet dreams.
Sweet dreams. Good night.
Take a loaf of bread with you then.
I'll take a slice of bread.
But take a loaf with you.
No, honestly, I'll just have a slice. I'm actually quite hungover.
That morning she told me she needed to head west herself to nearby Port Mellon to retrieve some old post belonging to her late husband, so it made sense for us to walk there together. First I helped her move her TV, filled up my water bottle from the loudest tap on earth.
I appreciate it.
Are you sure you don't want it?
Yeah, I'm positive.
And off we went.
Let's go.
Let's go to Port Mellon.
Let's go to Port Mellon.
In the village we bumped into the first proper Cornish person I'd met on this trip.
She's nobody more
Cornish.
local.
Eh?
Are you proper Cornish?
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
But not from this village.
No, really?
Where are you from then?
I've been living here 32 years.
All the best.
And you?
Cheers.
And on the way over to Port Mellon, Helen told me all about an ongoing dispute she had with her old landlord whom she didn't get along with.
Here we are. That's quaint.
We then arrived at the property her and her husband used to live at,
I'll wait at the end.
I said, but Helen ushered me in.
We can go in.
I didn't want to come in, but Helen assured me that I was more than welcome.
Are you sure? Yeah. I don't want to intrude.
There you go.
We then proceeded to the rear of the property, where many items allegedly belonging to her lay there rotting away.
Oh, great. I'll get the lead. We'll come back for that.
This continued inside.
Yeah, lovely.
Well, here I am in someone's house.
Oh, our little bowls.
But we weren't welcome here, and out of nowhere, a rather ticked-off young man appeared.
So it hasn't been stolen by your dad?
Nothing's been stolen. You've taken all the
Yes.
stuff, I'm afraid.
Yes.
Can you please leave, because this is private property now.
To see if any of my property is left.
Can you please leave? It is private
Don't be
property.
rude.
I'm not being rude. I'm asking you nicely.
Listen.
As grateful as I was for Helen's generosity and accommodation, I was just keen to hit the dusty trail at this point. Unfortunately though, there was more drama waiting for us in the village centre. Now, as much as I'd like to show you this, I've chosen not to out of respect for those involved, because while Helen didn't mind me filming, I can't speak for anyone else.
Bollocks.
I'm also not going to go into who I think was right or wrong. All I'll say is, this argument raged on for quite some time. Eventually though, with a dramatic flourish, the spectacle was over.
Sorry, Tom.
No, it's all right. Lovely to meet you.
Take care, and you.
Yeah, and thanks again.
I much
Send you
prefer
a letter, and I'll make sure I get it to the right house. Bye now.
Bye, Tom.
Ta-ra.
Safe journey.
Cheers. Oh my God, what have I just seen? What the f***? I've just walked into someone's house. I don't know who that young lad thought I was. I was like, all right, mate, I'm just in your house. Yeah, just wandering around. And then that scene outside, I mean, what a bizarre episode. I'm so glad now, actually, that I didn't just wander off back to the park and sleep under the skate ramp, because I've just become roped in and entangled in, you know, Mevagissi's local dramas and goings on, really. I'll never forget that.
With a bit of help from a breakfast of blackberries and a much cooler and cloudier morning, the sea air washed this hangover away fairly quickly. But I was fairly sure that this would be my last day on the trail, partly because I'd lost one of my GoPro batteries, and that wasn't the only thing I'd lost.
Well, this is the final day of the adventure, but what's the plan today? Well, how much money do I have left for a start? It got a bit confusing because I did buy 2 pints last night. I should have more than that. Did I leave that money on the table? Yeah. Shit. I've left £4.50 on the table. And that was the change from Helen's drink, which she insisted I keep. Anyway, that leaves me £4.25, apparently. I'm feeling fresh because I slept in a bed, had a great night's sleep. And I've had a look at the map, and I think Falmouth is a natural ending point. So that's where I'm going to try and walk to today. It's quite far. It will be tough. Now I can buy some food along the way, but I'm also going to do what I set out to do, whether I need to do it or not, and that is do some coastal foraging. I've got a lighter. No, I've given her bloody lighter back to her this morning. For sake. Right, I need to buy a lighter then. I've just found another £1.10. I don't understand.
So, with the tide heading out, I went in search of a village shop.
Cake Bread's post office. This should do lighters. Just the cheapest one.
We only sell one type.
Yeah.
£1.20.
120. There you go.
Perfect, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a little more than I'd hoped to part with, but all would be forgotten if I could get me some water. It was another smelly toilet with a risky gender-neutral tap, but the water was cold enough for me.
Check this out. They turned an old phone box into a library. I wonder if there's anything on coastal foraging. Nah.
Up and over a big hill, I reached a majestic sweeping beach, but unless I wanted to straight line it down a gorse-covered cliff, there was no way of getting down to it. But that was okay, because a bit further down the coast, I reached the perfect place.
This could be our beach, guys. Yeah. Oh, wow. This is so cool. I've got it to myself. Plenty of rocky areas. Tide's going out, revealing stuff. Just need to make sure I can find a little spot out the way to make a fire. Incredible spot, this. These little coves that appear. Oh, is there any wood? Shit, I can't see any wood. I thought there was just driftwood everywhere.
But apparently that's not the case. During my search, I did find these wet boots.
There, I found his boots.
But I'd actually been looking for them too, on behalf of an irritated dad whose son had, not for the first time, left them somewhere.
Found them! Hello? I found them. Is that them? They were so well hidden. Yeah, they were just tucked away. But I'm trying to find wood, like driftwood.
You haven't seen any driftwood at all, actually, come to think of it.
No, I found this bit, but
that's it.
it's not very good.
It's going to be a small fire.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I'd done my good deed for the day, but there was a very good chance that despite this incredible setting I'd come across, there would be no fire, never mind a small one.
Really, really cool place, but not the place for driftwood, it seems.
But then I started finding some.
Okay, little bits here.
I was accumulating a fair bit of the small stuff.
Yes.
But then...
Jackpot. Okay. Man, that's heavy. Oh, bloody hell. I'll just take one more. That'll be fine. Yeah, I'll do it here. Out the way. Okay. Now we've actually got to find something to eat, which is not guaranteed at all. But let's give it a go. Here we go. It'd be just typical if I found absolutely nothing.
But that simply wasn't the case.
There you go. That is an edible organism. We're in luck. And there's another one. I don't know what that is. It's the same thing I found yesterday. There's loads up here. I want to pick the ones that are lower down. This is easy pickings. Oh my God. Nice big ones. Oh yes, this is happening, guys. It's happening. I mean, are the ones further up still alive or what? What about this bad boy? Yeah, they're all still alive, so they cling on until the tide comes back in. But, I mean, there's literally hundreds of these things. I can get them as and when I please. Should we see if we can find a crab or something? I'm over the moon. I'm really over the moon. I just hope my fire works now, because that would be really typical if I gathered a load of seafood and that I couldn't light a fire. I'm all right at it, but there's every possibility. Got to turn over some rocks if I want to find a crab. Oh, there's one. Is he alive? Oh my God, he is alive. Oh no, that's dead. He was somehow moving, but he is incredibly dead.
It was quite awkward to get into the rock pools without taking my shoes off, but I did find a boulder I was able to shift whilst perched on the edge. The reason you're looking at still images of it is because this particular clip turned out like this. And it's bloody typical, because as you're about to hear, not only was there a wee beastie hiding underneath it...
There's one. There's a crab. I don't believe it.
But my attempt at catching it could not have gone worse.
Shit. Oh shit, mate. You f***ing idiot. Sliced your finger right open. Great.
With quite a deep and wide cut on my right index finger caused by a tiny barnacle, I had to try and pick the crab up with my left hand whilst balancing on the edge.
Right, come here, you.
Not an easy feat.
Right, I've got to abandon because of this cut. I can't do it with one hand, man. Fuck's sake. Right, guys, this is the last battery. I don't know how that's happened, but it's okay. I'll make it last. This is what I've harvested. Bit of a mixture, actually. These little sea snail things, these mini whelks, and I even got 2 barnacles, or limpets. Let's get the fire going. Right, we got one proper shot at this, really. I'm just going for it. This is all while trying to avoid knocking into this cut. Go on. Now take. Come on. Need these sticks to take. Yeah. Yes, I think, by Jove, I think we've done it. I think we're going. Get in. Oh, you poor buggers over here. They're having an orgy.
With a roaring fire and a much less bloody finger, it was time to cook.
Okay, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I've put a thin rock on the coals there, and then I'll pop the poor little crustaceans on. And I've got sand all in my cut. Great. Okay, here we go. That's gotta hurt. I think this should work, in theory. Let's find out. See you in 2 minutes. Okay, let's get the first one off that I put on, which was this one. Oh, he's come right out. Look at that. There it is. It's exciting, isn't it? Yeah, tastes like a cockle. Wow, I've done it. I've always wanted to do that. Just hope I don't get ill. Oh, he's a big one. Yeah, you're big, aren't you? It tastes good. What about these snail ones? How's this going to work? Come on, naughty. Oh shit, I'm not going to be able to get them out. One of them exploded. How rude. Ooh, look at this one. It's like a worm, more of a wormy type thing. Let's try you. It's alright, that. I don't know if all of these are edible. I presume they are. And finally this one. The mini whelk. I think that's a baby whelk, but a lot fresher than the ones you get in Birmingham market. That's the best one yet. I'm really enjoying this because I'm genuinely hungry as well. So it's like a novelty and really hitting the spot. So I've got a burn on one hand and a cut on the other.
And thanks to my decision to put these ones on the embers, dinner time was over pretty soon.
Oh shit. Get them out. Get them out. Yeah, I've absolutely cremated these guys. So all of these now are not edible. Sorry fellas. You've lived your life only to be killed, to be eaten, and then accidentally burnt and not eaten. I've eaten 4 or 5. It didn't really fill me up, but I've done what I set out to do. This was like a mini challenge, a pretty big mini challenge, and I'm really proud of myself for doing it. Right, it's now 1 PM. A lot of time has passed while I've been here, believe it or not. Let's go and spend my remaining money on plasters and then nurse my one remaining 60% battery over a stretch of 15 miles. In fact, I probably won't be able to walk all that way.
I was right, and that's partly down to the battery situation, but also because to the west of me was what would have been the most remote stretch of coastline on the trip, with no guarantees of a shop for 14 miles.
That is quite open and will get infected if I leave it too long. So this point right here is actually the furthest I'm going to get west, sadly. Partly because my batteries are running out, partly because of this wound, but also I think this adventure has drawn nicely to a close.
So it was back up the hill and over the headland to Gorran Haven, where I could hopefully get a plaster and some antiseptic. It was a bit disappointing to end in this way.
Feels weird to have the sea on my right.
But this was no straight line mission, and when I actually weighed it all up, I didn't do too badly.
Officially, I walked this far and I've got £4.15 left in my pocket, I believe. So I spent £5.85. That's not bad, is it? That bloke's tenner really did go such a long way.
Back at the shop, a lack of antiseptic would force me back to the shore one last time.
I'll do what you recommended and put it in the sea.
The only thing I will say is be careful because there's lots of jellyfish down there. So
Oh
don't
yeah,
get
yeah,
stung.
there is, isn't there? Yeah.
But, you know,
That would be hilarious.
You'll find.
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying my best to wash my finger and not get stung by the jellyfish. This stings anyway, to be honest.
And with a plaster firmly applied, I was finally free to indulge in whatever temptation my heart desired.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, look at that. Beast. Look at that, man.
It's scenes like this that might look normal to you, if you're British at least, but after a grueling trek in which you're constantly denied such luxuries, these are moments of pure joy. What's more, I could chomp on these chips, happy in the knowledge that I'd forged myself another organic adventure in another incredible part of the world.
Well, here I am in Truro in a lovely luxurious hotel room. That was a great adventure. Not everything went the way I envisioned or predicted, but yeah, that's the beauty of it. And yeah, just got nothing but nice things to say about Cornwall and its residents. I imagine this video has been a pretty good advert to Cornwall, so yeah, please do come, but be respectful. You've just got to be friendly with people and be nice and be confident as well, and you can have yourselves a brilliant adventure. If you enjoyed this vid, please let me know what you liked about it, and if you would like to see another one of these tenner in my pocket type videos and where maybe you would like to see it, drop the video a like, and I'll see you for the next one.